In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and shiny-suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Welcome to the Business for Superheroes show. I'm Vicky Fraser. This is my 17th take, and I'm here today with Dom Hodgson, who is the UK's leading pet business expert. Hi, Dom.
Hello, Vicky.
How you doing?
I'm good. How's you?
I'm very good, thank you. We're now pretending like I haven't just spent 5 minutes warbling about nonsense and moving my computer around. See what happened. So I'm here to talk to Dom about books, because obviously I love big books and I cannot lie. And Dom has written some big books and some little books, and he's just basically a superstar author. Dom, why did you write your first book, and when and why?
Well, I started to write it in 2015, and a long time ago now, crikey. And I've been sold on the idea that writing a book is a good thing to do for your business, for your credibility, authority, expert position, and all the stuff that you talk about all the time, as the byproduct of sort of bound manuscript that you have. It's not about that, although that is really cool, isn't it, when that gets delivered, but it's about everything else that comes with it. So I've been sold on that idea, and I had an idea for a book. I had emails and stuff as well. I was in the sort of writing groove, and I couldn't get anywhere. I was really struggling to get the thing done. And at about 11, sorry?
What were you struggling with?
I was struggling with just getting going, I think, just like structure, I guess. It's like the first time you do anything. Mrs. It's first time you do anything, it's a bit tricky, isn't it? And riding a bike, I'm talking about, obviously. But there's riding a bike's a good example, isn't it? Like when you, my dad helped me to learn to ride a bike, and he sort of held the back of this bicycle, and and gradually I went faster and faster, and I probably could have learned to do it on my own, but I wouldn't have done it as quickly, and it wouldn't have been as much fun. It's nice having someone there to encourage you and stuff. So there was like the whole structure thing, and I was on your email list at the time, and it was, I can tell you now, it was New Year's Eve, obviously that year, whatever that year was, and you were doing a special offer for your new book course at the time, your brand new course, and we were just about to go down for dinner with friends, and I just thought, if I don't push the button now and get this course, I'm going to regret it tomorrow. And so that's what I did. Yeah, and that was kind of how I came into your world, I guess. And then the book got done probably took about 4 or 5 months, but at the same time, I was building an inner circle and stuff. I was building the next thing that I was going to sell from the book as well. So that's how it got done, with your good help.
Oh, I'm really chuffed that for a variety of reasons, I'm really chuffed that you bought that course, because obviously we're doing so much fun stuff together now, and you're one of my bestest buddies, and it's all really, really cool. And I've just been watching what you've been doing with because you've taken my book course and then you've just gone, and it's just been amazing. So how many books have you written now?
I've written 3. The 4th is with the beta readers now. That'll be out end of March, I guess.
That's about the same time as mine.
Yeah, it will. Yeah. We'll have to double up on the launch. And there you go, buy one, get one free. So that's 4 books. 4 books now. 4 books in 4 years it'll be.
That's really cool. And I know you're upping your pace as well, aren't you? You've planned more books for this year.
I am indeed, yeah. I've got a little series. So this 4th one that's out now is the second in the series of 5 street smart dog training series of books. The first one was Worry-Free Walks, which was out in November. So I've previously been on like a book a year. Now we're going to try and get about 3 or 4 out this year.
Awesome. And you've also got another book planned, haven't you? That doesn't quite fit into any of those categories. Do you want to announce it? The one that we were just talking about?
Okay. You mean the Derrick book?
Yes, the Derrick book.
The Dirty Derrick book.
Dirty Derrick. Yeah,
so we've got a dog de Bordeaux called Derrick. And the dog de Bordeaux, if anybody doesn't know, that's the dog from Turner and Hooch. And he's He's a big old beast, and he likes to sit on the couch. And when he falls asleep, he likes to get comfy and roll on his back, and his paws go in the air, and everything comes out. And so I've taken to. I shouldn't really be even talking about this, but I've taken surreptitious pictures of Derrick in various states of nudity, and which I have been sharing on Facebook, obviously, because it's the kind of content I'm putting out there, Vicky. And pardon?
You disgust me.
And obviously with a little red dot over the offending items, and so I just thought we'd put it together as a book. Maybe put it out in the autumn. In Bed with My Derrick is the working title for it. What was yours? Did you say doggy business? Doggy
style.
Doggy style, of course.
The title, and then In Bed with My Derrick as the subtitle.
Done. See, done. Still helping me.
Always helping. Yeah, I'm very excited about the Dirty Derrick book, because also I think you could do a video, launch video with the music of Michael Jackson's Dirty Diana, only it'll be Dirty Derrick.
Yeah. And I could sing it and dance it as well.
Oh, yes, you could, couldn't you? Because you used to do that, didn't you?
Oh, God. There's a rod for my own back. It's a little interesting point, Vicky, actually. You, that we're having a bit of a laugh here, aren't we? And we do have a bit of a giggle. And you have to, and it really helps. Yeah. But that what you're talking about now was an article, wasn't it, that I had in my free Gazette, which went out. And the whole point of me putting that in was to talk about using... Yeah, she's showing it now. Well done. It was to talk about using humour, using humour in your marketing and not trying to be too professional. There it is. And yeah, it was just as a point of that's the one thing you've remembered. That's the one thing that you've mentioned to me anyway about the thing. So it's worth worth letting your hair down a little bit with your marketing, isn't it?
It is, and I love that. Is that's also a really cool, because I did that when I launched my first book. I launched a free newsletter off the back of it, and that's what you did with. Was that off the back of your book as well? Was that what you did?
No, it was kind of that was more on the back. Yeah, that was on the back of the Walk Yourself Wealthy book. So that's sort of my newsletter for pet business owners. Yeah,
and so that's another really cool idea. If you write a book, then you haven't just got a book that you just leave there and then hope people will buy it. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do with it, and a free newsletter is just. I mean, how does that work how does a free newsletter work for you?
Oh, good, really good. Yeah, I mean, it gets me. It just cuts through the clutter, doesn't it? It's obviously it's an expensive thing to send out. It's more expensive than an email. It's way more expensive than a shitty Facebook post or something that you would do. But it sits around. We've talked about this at the boot camp. All my guys, they keep all of the free newsletters. They're all stacked up in a little pile. And I don't just send the newsletter. I send out offers and stuff for things that I've got to sell as well. So, but it's a brilliant way to market your business, I guess. If you've got to qualify people as well. So everybody who gets a newsletter is either someone who's bought a book, or they've been to a course, or they were in a circle member or something like that, So they've put their hand up and said, yeah, I'm interested. And to me, that's worth me the investment of sending them a piece of paper and ink direct mail.
Yeah, because I mean, even then, you say it's expensive to send, and obviously it is more expensive to send. But you can get that newsletter in your hand, if your costs were anything like mine were, for under £2 per person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me it was like £1.56 back when I did it per person. Yeah. And that's per person per month, and that for me it's just an investment, because you're much more likely to sell stuff to people.
Totally. I mean, I say to my guys, like, it's worth doing a one just for your current clients. If you only had a dozen clients, it would be worth doing 50 of them, 50 newsletters, and sending each client 4. Say you keep one, give one to 4 friends. To me, it would be worth doing it just for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you don't even have to, if you have 1,000 people buy your book and you think, oh Christ, that's a lot of money to spend on a newsletter. Again, that's another way to do it. You don't even have to send them out every month. I'd say once a quarter is better than
definitely. Yeah, I've got a few of my guys are doing once a quarter.
Yeah, it's really cool. Okay, so with regards to your books, then, how do you think your business has changed since you've written books? What have they? Has it made a difference to, like, a material difference to your business, and also what difference has it made to your brain?
Oh, good questions. My brain, Christ. Let's deal with the business first. It's been a huge difference to the business. Like, almost straight away, I would say I went from being seen as a local dog walker in Sunderland to being a published author, you know? And if people can't get their head around that kind of leap, well, it's a big one, you know? And all of a sudden I've done something that not many other dog trainers have done. And I've also done it in a way that not many dog trainers have done at all, ever, you know, because obviously my book's very much like yours in, you know, the way that we sort of speak from the heart, don't we, you know, and we talk about failures and fuck-ups and all this kind of thing. And we share stories and we try and entertain and teach as well. And they're not particularly technical books, mine, you know, but I think from the reviews and stuff that I get, that's why it's hitting a nerve, you know. It's what people I think are looking for. But that, along with like the events and stuff that I started to do, they were two massive game changers for me. Writing a book and doing events, all of a sudden I was seen as being a writer and a speaker, and elevated me big style.
It did. And you know what, you were saying that there aren't that many other dog trainers that have done that type of thing. And the thing that it does is put you on a level with them. So, you know, whatever you think about that dog whisperer bloke, he is super famous, right? And he makes...
Absolutely, yeah.
And you are now on that level because you've both written that book. So, and there's a couple of other famous dog walkers who you could rattle off that I don't really know because... That's not my world. But yeah, it's put you on the same level as these kind of famous people.
Totally.
You know, if there's anybody listening who is like, oh, you know, I don't think I could do that. And it's like, well, look at the people who are famous in, you know, in your world and how many of them have written books. And it's very few. So if you're like a motivational speaker, then there's like Tony Robbins and a couple of other people who are, you know, and they're right up there with the book. And as soon as you write a book, you're elevated towards that level. And it's just very, very powerful.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah. So what difference does it make to your brain?
To my brain, oh wow, silent tumbleweed.
It says there's just goldfish in his head.
Yeah, no, I think it's made a big difference. I think it's made a big difference to me and my own self-confidence and stuff. I mean, I've never really lacked for a lot of self-confidence, be it that I sort of surprise. No, but I've always been quite confident. Well, I think it's because of this sort of stage work that I used to do, performing and stuff in the past, you know. So that's kind of carried on through all of my jobs, really. But yeah, it's certainly given me like a huge confidence boost, and I'm really starting now to sort of think of myself as an author. You know, I know it sounds silly because obviously I am an author, but I would be quite confident in introducing myself as being like an author and a dog trainer now, you know, to people, because I feel like I'm getting good at it. You know, I feel like I'm getting good at the process. I've got a long way to go. It's not perfect, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm helping, you know, to change people's lives with the books and stuff. That's certainly what they tell me with the reviews, and I'm transforming my business as well.
Cool. Well, that's very good to hear. I'm really glad that it's, because I know that you weren't lacking on confidence before, but I'm really glad that you're starting to introduce yourself as an author, because, you know, you are an author, and it's super important. So what have you enjoyed most about writing books? Because I'm going to ask you in a minute what's been the most hellish part of it as well. But what have you enjoyed most?
I think it's put my stamp on things. I think this is very true for dog trainers anyway, and probably true for very many professions. We all sort of stand on the shoulders of giants, don't we? And we've been influenced by, like, I have, you know, so many dog trainers, John Rogers and David Davies, and then with the marketing, Dan Kennedy, John, yourself, you know, lots of other people as well who read books all the time. And you take little bits from everybody, and then you sort of put it in the melting pot, and out of it comes like your voice, you know, and then over time it gets like refined, doesn't it? And so, you know, just I really enjoy putting my personality into it and my stories. And there's, you know, I tell stories about like letting my old dog Barry off lead, and he used to do this like crazy run. We used to let him off lead, and he used to do this crazy run like for about 60 seconds, and he used to run round and round really fast, and his back legs couldn't catch up with his front legs because he was going so fast. And I forgot to tell my dad about that. One day my dad took him out, and he did the crazy one and ran round the back of my dad and ran into him and sent him flying and stuff. And my dad, who was he was an electrician, he was a miner in Seaham near here. And his granddad was a miner. His dad was a miner, and his granddad was a miner. And basically, all these stories from me and my past, they all go into the book. You know, I love pulling something out and telling a story about it, and then sort of sliding into some kind of dog training lesson or something like that.
So it allows you to unleash your inner storyteller.
Exactly, yeah. And I think there's a big frustration, like I said, especially with dog trainers, where they feel like they can't do this. You know, they feel like they can't do it yet because they don't have as much experience as that person, or because they haven't got as many qualifications as this person, and all of that's just bollocks. You know, you've just got to. The more you sort of don't worry about those things, and the more you unleash your inner whatever it is wolf, then the faster you'll really start enjoying yourself and touching more people too.
Inappropriately or
I was waiting for you to pick up on that. You scamp.
Scoundrel. Yeah, so what's been the most hellish part of writing a book? Because I think I get a bit pissed off with seeing, big claims from so-called gurus who are like, oh, you can write a book in a weekend, it's easy. And it's like, it's not easy. It's bloody hard work, actually. And sometimes it makes you want to scream and cry and set fire to things. So what has really been your most frustrating aspect of writing a book? And how did you get over it?
It's just like doing it. Just sitting down and doing it is hard. Even I've just almost finished my 4th book. Now, like I said, it's with the beta readers. They give me some feedback. I'm going to have to go back over it next week. It's hard. It's character forming, writing a book. It really is. And in a similar way that like running a half marathon or running a marathon is, some people might just think, oh, well, anybody could do that. But like, how many hours you have to spend out there when it's pissing down with rain and all that kind of thing. It's exactly the same when you're writing. It's like super tough, and you always find. What about you, Vicky? But I'll do anything than sit and write. I'll even clean and stuff. Like I'll do anything in the house. I'll just do this. I'll just do that. I'll put that away. I'll stick the washing on. And I'll answer this email, and I'll do that. And so for me to get over that, it's about focus. And this is kind of what I teach my guys. 'Cause a lot of my guys are starting to do this now. They're writing books and stuff, and you've got to be super focused. You've got to minimize the distractions. And you have to just sit down and do the work, and it comes. That's the magical thing about it. When you sit down and you start writing, the muse does appear, doesn't it? But it doesn't appear until you actually start writing.
Yeah. So Stephen King says, amateurs sit and wait for inspiration to strike, and the rest of us just get up and go to work. And, you can't just wait for your muse to show up. Because I think I say that in my book, your muse is a tricksy bastard. He's not going to help you. You need to beat him with a shovel and make him work for you. I'm really glad you talked about that, actually, about how difficult it is to sit down and do the work, because I wanted people to hear that from you, because you're, first and foremost, you weren't a writer. You are now, but you weren't before. You were a dog trainer and a business owner. And I think that's the position that most people are going to find themselves in. And I think they look at me and think, oh, well, but you're a writer. That's what you do. And so it comes easier to you. And they are right. I am a writer. I've done it every day since I was, 8 years old. I've been a writer since I was 8 years old. And so I don't have the same kind of struggles that you do, because I love writing. I love the act of writing. But I do understand. I understand where you're coming from and where business owners are coming from, because that's not your first and foremost thing, and it doesn't necessarily come naturally to everybody. So I'm really glad you talked about that, because you can get over it, can't you, by just kind of sitting and focusing. So what are some of the techniques that you've used to do that?
Well, I like to sort of collect information before I start. So I have a little bank of stories that I'll think of. Just when I'm on the bog or something, whatever. And, all these different places, you'll just make little notes about things, or if I see an article on the news, I'll screenshot it or something like that. And so I try not to go into a period of writing. Well, here's an example for you. This book's just finishing now. The next book is a food book for dogs. So The Hungry Games, it's going to be called. And that's about how to use the food to, so you don't just feed from a bowl. So you basically try and entertain and play with your dog and give them things to do with the food and stuff. So I'll start collecting stories for that like now. And I'll do a little bit of research online and save some websites, and might get my guys to send me any interesting articles that they come across and stuff as well. So that's a good thing to do, so you sort of priming yourself then, aren't you? So you're not sitting down with a completely blank piece of paper and no ideas at all. At least you've got a bit of structure. And then just completely minimizing like the distractions, So the airplane mode goes on the phone. Facebook gets turned off. People get told as well, even, like, right, I'm in book writing mode now, so, you ain't going to hear from me for like, a little while or whatever. And I mean, general time management stuff comes into that as well, like what Dan Kennedy teaches stuff, just energy vampires and time suckers and all these kind of people. You know, you need to train these people not to bother you with the shit that otherwise you'll never get it done. You know, you'll never get it done because you ought to be the same as me. Every day when I sit down at the computer, you could easily spend half a day just, you know, clearing the decks, you know, before you start. But you haven't, you know, you've got to convince yourself that this is an important thing that you're going to do. Then you've got to create the right environment for you to do the work. And then, like I say, start with a bank of ideas.
Cool. That's all really super advice. Thank you so much, Dom. There's loads more that we could talk about, and I'm sure we'll do a lot more interviews and stuff as time goes on, because I want to talk to you about your next launch and, you know, what you're doing with all that stuff as well. But we'll save that for another time. I'm
just copying you.
Cool. Again, you know, that's a really cool thing to do, because you can, you know, if you do what I'm doing, then you can tell me what stuff worked and what didn't work for you, and that'll be really interesting to see, because obviously we've got similar audiences but different, because they're all business owners, but you know, yours are specifically pet business owners, and so yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see, you know, what's worked for you, what's worked for me, what you've taken of mine and then changed and, you know, made better. And that's, you know, I think the more this is really good stuff, because I love sharing this kind of thing, because a lot of business owners, a lot of kind of, you know, self-styled gurus and whatnot, they guard everything and they don't share stuff. And I think when you share stuff like this, you can look at what works for one person and what hasn't worked, and you know, try it for yourself, and then everybody wins.
Totally, yeah. I mean, you help out with what I'm doing, I help you with what you're doing. You know, it works, doesn't it? You know, we're not. I mean, I wouldn't do that with everybody. You know, obviously you've got to find people who you trust and you enjoy working with and stuff, and you respect, and who feel the same way about you. But yeah, it's you go a lot further, like as a part of a little team, don't you?
Yeah. You do. And speaking of a little team and what's coming up next, I'm really looking forward to Impact. So tell us a little bit about Impact.
So Impact is my big event of the year for pet business owners. It is the Poodle to Pitbull Pet Business Success Summit, and it's for pet business owners who want to make an impact. That's why I called it Impact, was because obviously I talk about money in business and raising prices and things like that all the time, and all these things are important, you know, because you should be earning the maximum amount of money that you want from your business, so you can buy nice things for your family and stuff, you know. But I also know that a lot of people, pet business owners certainly, they want to make an impact with their skills, and they want to help people. They want to change the world for dogs. Somebody just said that the other day who signed up for Impact. You know, he won dog trainer of the year somewhere, and he knew he wanted to get his shit together with the marketing so he could start changing the world with dogs, and he's coming to Impact. You know, so it's like fucking brilliant. That's the type of person that I want coming along. And you're going to be there, obviously. My undesirables. I've got my undesirables. And so there's you, Alex, Rachel, and Stephen all coming along to share their particular marketing speciality. Yours is obviously going to be books. And so it's going to be a fab event. That's happening on April 6th.
It's going to be really good fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So where can people find out about that, Dom?
They can go to www.growyourpetbusinessfast.com/impact.
Nice and simple. And I'll have the link in the show notes and below the video and stuff as well, so you can go and have a look. And if people aren't able to come to Impact for whatever reason, where can they just find out more about you? Where can they get on your email list?
They can go to growyourpetbusinessfast.com/33 ideas. That'll get them on my email list that way. Obviously, we've got the podcast, the Poodle to Pitbull Pet Business Podcast as well. And the books are on Amazon and Audible, paperback and audio versions and stuff as well. So yeah, I'm out there.
Cool. So yeah, even if you're not like interested in a pet business, even if you don't have a pet business, if you have a dog, you know, you'd be interested in what Dom does. Even if you're not a pet person and you don't have a pet, which probably you're not my type of person either, if that's the case, but because I love animals. But you know, even if you're thinking of writing a book, go and buy a couple of Dom's books and see what he's done and how he's done it, because you know he has followed the instructions that I've given him, and then he's done other stuff as well on top of that, and it's just an amazing thing. So go and have a look and see what he's done, because that's the kind of thing that you too can achieve in your business, no matter what your business is.
For sure, you can transform your business. You know, it's what we talked about at the start, and how it opens doors, you know. You don't know what doors it's going to open, but like you said, here we are, you know, we're doing this now. It's like the third time we've spoken a podcast or something, and you're coming to speak at my fourth event. We've got other projects as well, haven't we, that we talk about, and we got on the bubble and on the back burner and that kind of thing. And No, we have, haven't we? And it's she's looking away. No, but we have, we're both busy, but it's like it opened. That's the thing about it. There's like so many ideas, isn't there? You just it's picking the ones, and so it'll open doors for you as well, for sure.
It will. Dom, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. Guys, go check out Dom's stuff. If you've got a pet business, absolutely consider going to Impact, because it's going to be really good fun, and it's going to be very valuable. I got shitloads out of it last year, and I was one of the bloody presenters, and I don't even have a pet business. So yeah, it's just really cool. And you'll get to hang out with us, and we're fun as well. We were doing dinosaur impressions last time, weren't we? So that's cool. That's one of my favourite photos from last year. And if you want to know more about me, you can go to vickyfraser.com and sign up for the best daily emails in the entire universe. That's proven by experiments. And you will also get to know when my new book is out. And I'm really so excited about this new book. I'm very, very proud of it. So yeah, I'll be back same time next week with Joe. So you'll be happy to hear that Joe's back. Everybody's a fan of Joe. And yeah, be good. And if you can't be good, don't get caught.
Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.
Hello and welcome. Oh, fucking, I don't even know why. Hi. That's terrible.
Fucking hell. Are you a fucking works experience or something?
Yes.